Rain streaked the streets of Sector 17, bouncing off the metallic walls of the industrial district like tiny silver knives. Jonas Kier, a single father and maintenance worker, trudged home with his daughter, Lily, in tow. The sky overhead was a violent grey, punctuated by the occasional flash of lightning, and the city smelled of ozone and burnt oil. Life hadn't been kind since Jonas lost his wife, and he bore every day like a soldier, stoic, worn, but never defeated. Lily tugged on his coat. "Daddy, can we get something warm? My hands are freezing." Jonas ruffled her hair and nodded. "Soon, kiddo." Just a little further, as they passed the edge of a derelict alley, a faint sound caught Jonas's soft, strangled whimper that didn't belong in the clamor of the city. He paused, instinctively scanning the area. "Lily, stay close." The sound grew louder. Cautiously, Jonas approached a pile of discarded crates and metallic debris. Nestled among the garbage was a small figure, shivering violently. At first glance, it appeared to be a child, but then he noticed the translucent, violet-hued skin, the iridescent glimmer of her eyes, and the strange, frilled ears peeking out from damp, tangled hair. Clutched against her chest was a tiny creature, no larger than a cat, with scales that flickered between sapphire and silver, wings too small to fly, and eyes like molten gold. Jonas froze. "Oh, my God." The girl looked up at him, her eyes wide with a mixture of fear and hope. "People, help us," she whispered, her voice barely audible over the rain. Instinct took over. Jonas scooped her up gently, careful not to startle the baby dragon. "It's okay. You're safe now. I won't let anyone hurt you." Lily's eyes sparkled with curiosity. "Daddy, it's like a real dragon." Jonas forced a weak smile. "Yeah, like a dragon." He hurried back to their cramped apartment, the girl and her dragon bundled under a thin coat. Once inside, he set them down carefully. The girl shivered in the corner, hugging her dragon, who chirped softly in response. "I'm Emira," the girl finally said, her voice trembling. "And this is..." Kairos. Jonas nodded. "I'm Jonas. This is Lily. You're safe here. You don't have to be scared anymore." Lily, ever the empathetic child, knelt beside Emira. "Do you want some soup? Mummy used to make dragon-shaped crackers too." Emira smiled faintly for the first time, her teeth tiny and sharp, like a newborn predator's. She accepted Lily's hand and let her lead her to the kitchen. Jonas watched, heart tightening. The resilience of a child, human or alien, always amazed him. Over the next few days, Jonas discovered that Emira and Kairos were far from ordinary. Kairos's scales shimmered when he was excited or scared, and he seemed to respond to Emira's moods. Emira herself possessed intelligence beyond her apparent age, speaking multiple languages and asking questions that made Jonas marvel at her. Curiosity, but the truth was something Jonas couldn't have anticipated. One evening, while tucking Lily into bed, Emira approached him, her eyes solemn. "Jonas, there's something I have to tell you," she said softly. Jonas felt a chill run down his spine. "What is it, Emira?" She hesitated, then continued. "We weren't thrown away because we were unwanted. We were hunted." Jonas's stomach clenched. "Hunted by who?" "The Imperium," Emira whispered, her small hands trembling. They take alien children like me, experiment, breed, use them as weapons. He's one of the last of his kind." They would have killed us both if we stayed where we were. Jonas's chest tightened. He had seen horrors in his lifetime, but hearing it from a child, the vulnerability, the innocence, shook him to his core. "We have nowhere to go," Emira continued. "No home, no one left who can protect us. You're the only human who's helped us." Jonas sank into a chair, running a hand over his face. He felt broken, not defeated, but utterly exposed to the weight of responsibility. He was a single father. He had barely managed to care for Lily, let alone protect an alien child and a baby, dragon from a galactic military force. But then he looked at Emira and Kairos. The small, terrified faces staring back at him held trust. Pure, fragile trust. And something deep inside him stirred a determination that burned hotter than any fear. "I will protect you," Jonas said finally, his voice firm. "I don't care what the Imperium is, or how big they are. You and Kairos stay. You're not going back out there. Not while I'm alive." Emira's eyes filled with tears. "Really?" Jonas nodded. "Really? Your family now." Over the next weeks, Jonas became more than just a father. He became a strategist, a guardian, and a mentor. He taught Emira how to blend in with humans, how to hide Kairos when patrol drones passed overhead, and how to survive in a city that would never truly understand them. But the Imperium was relentless. Drones began to appear near their apartment, scanning for life signatures. Jonas fortified the building, rigged improvised alarms, and, when necessary, taught Emira the basics of self-defense. Kairos, growing fast, developed a fiery breath that could singe metal, a weapon they hoped never to use. One night, as Jonas watched Emira and Lily asleep, Kairos curled up at their feet, he realized something profound. Humanity was often underestimated, fragile, emotional, and flawed, but there was one trait that set humans apart: resilience and love. A human could endure, could adapt, could rise in ways no machine or alien predator could predict. "I'll keep you safe," he whispered to Emira, and in that moment, he knew he meant it for all of them. Not just for duty, not just for compassion, but because humans had a stubborn, unyielding fire that refused to let innocence perish. Weeks later, when the Imperium came to claim their prey, they were met not with fear, but with a barricade of cunning traps, improvised defenses, and a small human family who refused to yield. Jonas, Lily, Emira, and even Kairos fought back with everything they had, outsmarting technologically superior forces with grit, heart, and sheer unpredictability. The Imperium eventually retreated, stunned by the audacity of these fragile humans and their alien companions. Jonas stood among the wreckage, Lily hugging him tightly, Emira clutching Kairos to her chest. He looked at them and realized the truth. They were a family forged not by blood, but by choice, courage, and the refusal to bow to tyranny. And in that moment, Jonas understood why he had survived so many trials in life. Humanity's greatest weapon wasn't its technology, its strength, or its numbers. It was the heart, the unbreakable will to protect those who could not protect themselves. He was just one man, one human, but together they were unstoppable. Even in the trash of the universe, hope could be found. Even in the darkest rain, light could shine, and for Emira, Kairos, Lily, and Jonas, it had just begun. Asterisk.